Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. Welcome to the Artcast.
Yes, welcome. And guess where we are?
I have no idea. Where are we?
We're at the Don Hamilton studio in Spokane.
Remember when we were here a couple years back?
Yeah.
I love this building.
I love this
It has so
space.
much history. So many cool things have happened here. And a lot of new cool things are happening. So you'll have to listen and find out more.
Exactly.
That's happening coming up. It's been quite a year so far,
So
hasn't it?
far, I know.
Can you believe we're in season 5?
No.
I can't believe it.
I can't either.
Just
It doesn't
think of all
feel
the
like
people that we've talked to.
We've talked to some amazing people.
Yeah, and then there's so many more that we have in store for
That's
this
right.
year.
I know. I'm pretty
So
excited.
make sure you tune in, like, follow, and do all those things you do on all those streaming things.
That's right.
I don't know what they're called. Platforms.
Like, follow, and subscribe.
That's it.
Yes.
Subscribe, not prescribe. That's
Prescribe.
what doctors do.
That's what doctors do. Guess where we are?
I have no idea. Where are
We're at the Don Hamilton studio in Spokane.
Remember when we were here a couple years back?
Yeah.
I love this building.
I
it
love
has
this
so much
space.
history. So many cool things have happened here, and a lot of new cool things are happening. So you'll have to listen and find out more.
Exactly.
That's happening coming up.
That's
But
right.
What's new with you, Allie?
Well, when we walked in and Don greeted us so lovingly,
Yes.
I told him that I tell everybody, be sure to watch Benny and June because
That's
he
right.
gets like $3.50 every time somebody watches it.
I love that movie.
And I love that.
I forget, what scene is he in?
He's the UPS driver.
That's right. He's
Yes.
the UPS driver. Somebody else told me they were in that movie, and I can't remember who it was. But
It's such a lovely movie.
it's a great movie.
Yeah, and you know what? I found out that the house that they filmed, that they used for the home for the young woman, and Aidan Quinn was her uncle or brother or something, is down in, I think it's called Pleasant Valley.
In Oregon. Yeah.
No,
I thought it
right
was
here.
Oregon.
No, it's right here. It's down, in fact, it's right across the river from Kendall Yards.
Oh,
And
which
there's
we
a house
enjoyed
down
a nice
there.
little glass of wine earlier.
That's right, we did.
We'd like to thank Mary Hill.
Yes,
You
Mary
could
Hill
become
Winery.
a
Thank you.
sponsor of Allie and Callie podcast. We especially enjoyed the rosé. Thank you.
Yes, it
Anyway,
was very good.
well,
Anyway,
we had a blast, and that Benny and June.
Yeah, so that house is down there, and you know Johnny Depp was in that movie, so
I know.
okay,
I
I'm
know.
a little starstruck.
You like, yeah.
Yeah.
You likey.
I do. I like you.
That's okay. That's good. It's a fun place, a
Yeah.
fun movie, and we'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
It's
so what's
good.
up? What's up with
Let's
you?
see. Lots of like life drama, but it's all good
Yeah,
because the sun is shining, and
it is shining.
you know, there's got to be some good things. Because life can be a lot. I
Yeah.
love the podcast, and I love seeing creative people. And there's my granddaughter. She's amazing. She's
Yeah.
so fun.
Well, then thank God for grandchildren.
Thank God for grandchildren.
Yeah.
Everything is everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah.
Everything is cool if you're part of the team.
What is that from?
Lego movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched it once and went,
Yeah,
that's good enough.
I'm sorry, I watched that with my grandson.
I know. I have a granddaughter. We watch Frozen and
Oh yeah,
Wicked
and Wicked.
and The Witch. So there's The
Yeah.
Witch and Wicked.
Uh-huh.
The Witch is Wizard of Oz. Wicked is Wicked.
Right,
So we only watch the beginning of Wicked. She doesn't like
because it's a little
she doesn't
scary.
like the goat.
Oh,
She doesn't like the goat. She doesn't
Really?
have a problem with the monkeys,
oh.
but the goat bothers
My
her.
husband ate some monkeys,
Anyway,
which is funny.
But
Anyway, okay.
Anyway, we get sidetracked. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get
As
on
we
to our
usually
guest.
do. Exactly.
We are so excited. I've known this one person since 1994.
Wow.
Troy Nickerson. And we have Chris Jensen,
Yep.
who are now the owners. I want to say owners. That sounds funny.
Co-founders.
The
Co-founders
co-founders.
of Theater on the Verge here in Spokane. Welcome
Yes.
to our show.
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you
Oh.
for being here.
Thanks for
So
having us.
tell us a little bit about this venture that you've started.
Yes.
So Theater on the Verge is an independent theater company that we started just this last fall. And the key word there is independent. We are just doing our own thing here. And it's really exciting, I think, for both of us. And Troy's been working in theater here in Spokane for years, as you know. And I think for Troy to have a chance to just do his own thing, to be able to choose the shows that he gets to work on, and for us to just say, hey, let's do this. Let's do this show, and then to be able to pivot when we need to. I don't know. We just have a lot of freedom.
And it's important right now too, I think, for us to be able to choose the things that we want to put out in the world.
Right.
Things that we want to say. So we've kind of been doing that. We've been finding pieces that mean something to us, or things that we feel like we want to talk about and do. So that was a big thing, because we don't have to worry about a large group of people all voting and, becoming part of that,
Right.
Which
Get the
happens a
panel.
lot, and things become
sure.
sometimes a series of compromises and some, So we've kind of just choose stuff that we're kind of into right now, and this show kind of landed in the perfect spot, in the perfect moment, and it's so cool.
Great. So
Yeah.
tell us about the show.
So this show is called Every Brilliant Thing. And we were looking for a show to start that was at the right scale for us, because it was almost like a proof of concept. We needed to start with a show that was pretty small scale, that didn't have a huge set, didn't have a huge cast, where because we're using our own money for this thing, and we didn't even have the right space in mind for it yet. We just were trying to figure out, we were just trying to get our feet under us, right?
Yeah.
So we needed to find the right show. And Troy sent me the name of this script. He was just sending me a lot. We'd been reading scripts for months.
And by way, Amy T.
He'd been sending me the names of scripts for
Nice.
months.
Right.
And I happened to be on the East Coast at the time, and he sent me the name of the script. It was late at night. I couldn't sleep, and I downloaded it onto my Kindle, and I started reading it, and I got to page 3, and I called him, and I said, okay, I'm sending this to you. I'm just going to mail this to you, because it was checking all the boxes in terms of the right scale, in terms of, it's a one-man show, essentially. But it also just, what it's about, it just really was really grabbing me. But also what's on page 3, we won't talk about exactly what's on page 3, but what happens on page 3, I was in tears.
Wow.
And it just grabbed me. And that's what we're looking for more than anything, is stuff that we really feel is why are we doing this now? What does this have to say to us now? And this show absolutely says something to me right now, and it's bringing life for me now.
Yeah,
Right.
and he sent me the script. I got to about page 3, and we talked, and it's like, we're doing this right
Yeah.
We had another show kind of picked out, and it was
Right.
Oh.
No.
Put it on the back burner.
It was just
Moving on.
This was it. The moment we.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
exciting.
It is. It was just perfect.
Well, I love what your website says, that you believe theater should be a visceral, personal experience, one that ignites conversation and inspires connection and leaves a lasting impact. And I love that. I think that's what we're all looking for.
The show, because the show, it's so amazing, but also Chris says it's coined as the funniest show about depression.
Yeah.
But you will laugh, and you will have such a wonderful time, but you will also have the most tender, beautiful moments. The interesting thing that every evening is going to be different, the way the show is written, that it will become kind of a once-in-a-lifetime moment that happens in the audience with this group of people because of the way that he integrates with the audience. And it's hard to explain, and I don't want to explain too much because...
Well,
Right.
let's keep a little
course.
mystery.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the way it's done is so beautiful, and it'll really, I hope, we have no idea if this is the truth, I'm making it up. But, it feels like it really will be this united room of humans experiencing this cool,
A shared
this
experience.
cool thing. Truly,
Yeah.
I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but
No.
it's
I think we
it's
need
special.
that right now. I need
do.
some woo-woo.
Yeah, you need some laughs, and you need a little woo-woo, and you need a little.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's about, depression, and who isn't going through that? I don't know. What is the line that you remember?
Oh, it's if you go through your entire life,
You go through your entire life without being terribly depressed.
then you haven't been paying attention.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And really, so
Yeah.
much of the show is about paying attention. This 7-year-old boy starts through, and his mother's is depressed, and she has things, issues with suicide, and he's writing all of these brilliant things on paper to get her to want to live and want to. So all of this list of brilliant things,
Right.
and he gets it up to a million things, but then it becomes his journey through his whole life. That list, how it grows in his relationships and all of this stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
wow.
It's pretty
Well,
great.
it starts off as a list of what a 7-year-old thinks are brilliant things.
Yeah,
Like
ice cream.
it's ice cream
Right.
and staying up late.
Simple.
And
Simple things.
and then as he gets older, and as he starts struggling with depression, and as he starts struggling with his own will to live, then those things he starts having a hard time even coming up with a list of anything.
Oh.
Oh.
But then he
Which
fights
is,
through that,
old.
but then the list, the earlier list, takes on a greater meaning, right? And he starts to look back on that and say like, wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's rules to the list, like, no material things. I mean, every day, they're just everyday little moments that we do all day long that bring us joy that we forget about.
Right.
Right.
And there's really, when you start, and this show, it's been therapy, I think, for all of us in some ways. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I notice silly little things that I go, I shouldn't let that go. That moment right there was like a moment to think about. My dogs are cool.
Yeah.
Like, I get a nap with the dog, whatever it is. Like, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wrote the play?
You.
Because I hadn't heard of the play. Has it been produced a lot?
It's been produced quite a bit. It started off on the Fringe circuit in the UK, and it's been produced a fair number of times in small theaters. Yeah, it's not very well known, I would say.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
So it'll
Wow.
be a premiere.
Yes, and it truly is for me, and I'm up there in close to 200 shows. This
Yeah, I
is
know.
the first experience like this that I've had, and I think as an
That's
audience
so
member,
great.
Wow.
it'll be the first experience like this you've had as well.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what you've done before. Troy, I know you've been around for a long time and you've done a lot of shows. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, I've started to use most of my stuff. Spokane Children's Theater. When I was in the 6th grade, I was acting then, and then I jumped into civic theater. I acted, started directing. So I've been there a long time. I've kind of known for doing huge production musicals, but I love doing plays, and I just don't get a chance to do plays
Right.
as often anymore. And I'm getting old, and 35 people in a show is kind of
It's
like,
a lot.
it's
A
a
little
lot. It's a
overwhelming.
thing,
I know.
you're so many hats, and then it's such a cool thing to be able to sit with a couple actors that are amazing, and in this case, one, and
It's
just have this like connection.
It's a
cool.
gift.
Yeah.
It's a
So
gift.
I've done tons of different things, and continue. I want to continue to do different things. This isn't by no means that
The only thing,
the
but-
only thing that.
right.
This is just something that like really speaks to both of us right now.
Yeah.
So it's
I will
Okay.
have to say one of my favorite things that Troy and I experienced together was doing Some Things Afoot many, many,
yes.
many years ago. And Troy had a very funny line, and it was your delivery that was funny. It's a child, baby boy, something like that. But
I haven't acted in so long.
Oh my God, it was so funny. He came at the top of the stairs and he came down and boy, child, baby, child. It was just, I mean, you had to be there, but it was
Yeah.
funny. I mean, it was wet your pants funny.
That was a funny show.
That was a funny show.
Time. It was a fun
1994.
time. I
It was
can't
fun.
believe
I know it was a long time ago,
Yeah.
but that was a very funny moment.
Thanks.
And you're
Yeah.
a great actor, so
You as well.
oh, it was just
It
fun.
was
So
cool. That's where you and Stu met.
yes, I know, crazy years ago. No, now tell us about your life, Chris.
Well, so Troy and I first met like 25 years ago. I was the editor at a little newspaper here in Spokane that is no longer with us called The Local Planet. I was the culture editor. I was writing theater reviews. And that was my first job right out of college. And I went on then after that to write stage reviews in Seattle and San Francisco.
Oh.
I was the theater critic for SF Weekly in San Francisco for a number of years. Before that, even I was in. I went to grad school for theater. I was in an MFA program, so I do have a little bit of formal background in theater. But I've kind of done all sorts of things. My main career has been as a writer and editor for tech. I've worked for a number of tech companies over the years. I currently work for a German tech company. So a lot of my background is in marketing. So I focus here in this, for us, on sort of the business and marketing side of things.
Great.
Okay.
And Troy's focused a little bit more on the creative side.
On the
of
creative
things.
side. So you're
Yeah.
directing then? Okay. And then, so what are your plans for the theater? How many shows do you think you'll produce a year?
Right.
Or do you don't have to make plans. You can do whatever you want.
It's interesting because we were making really
Oh my God,
grand
the
plans.
plans we made.
Plans, such
We're gonna take
grand
over the
plans.
world.
That's right. Oh, the
Plans.
plans we were making.
Stressful plans.
Plans, that's right. And we were
Everything
really
we weren't going to do.
we were
That's
really
what-
starting to stress ourselves
Yeah,
out.
and then you're like, simmer down.
And we
now.
realized that it was taking us out of the moment.
Yeah.
And it was taking us out of
Good.
the ability to enjoy what we were doing.
Good.
And one of the lovely things about the fact that it was just the two of us, that we are independent,
You can
is
do
that we just
whatever-
said, you know what, let's not do that.
Yeah, good for you.
And so we called up the company, the rights folks, and just said, we're not going to do that. And so we have scaled things back. We
I love
still
it.
do have some plans to do something
still
in the summer.
Two
Yeah,
shows.
Good.
something
That
in
we're
the summer,
works, yes.
something in the fall. We're very excited about them, but they are relatively small scale.
Good.
The one in the summer is a little bit more ambitious than what we're doing now, and the one in the fall is a little more ambitious than that.
Yeah.
And so we're scaling up a little bit, but we're trying to keep things,
Yeah.
not to get
Attainable.
too far ahead of
Right.
ourselves.
Yeah,
I
That's
think
good.
that's very
I
smart.
think it's
Yeah.
very smart.
One
in
of the
this-
lovely things too is that we do not have our own venue, right?
Right.
So we're not tied to that. We have
Right.
a lot of independence there.
Right.
And one of the great things about working, we've been so lucky to land here at Hamilton
Oh my
Studio
gosh.
Yeah.
and to be working with Dawn. And this is such a lovely space to be
It's a
working
great
in.
space.
He's been so
Yeah,
generous
yeah.
to
Yeah.
us too. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
it's really, I mean, it's going to be hard to think about.
Going anywhere
Right,
else.
right,
Yeah.
You're
right.
like,
I mean,
what's
it's
wrong
right.
with this? I like
Totally,
it.
I know.
It's so awesome.
It's just a beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
it's really cool.
Right.
So,
And you got a cat here. I
you've
love
got a
that.
cat.
Oh yeah, the cat. I
Good
forgot about the
lighting.
cat,
And good
right?
lighting.
Good lighting
I know.
is everything.
It's perfect.
So the other thing is that it's like the community and has really just kind of jumped up and supported this in a big way, and even like different theaters for our rehearsal spaces, and
Nice.
people have really kind of jumped on board and
Yeah.
been
Oh,
very
great.
kind to us, even if it's ad space for their next show. Aspire's done.
Right.
Yeah.
Sugar did stuff, and Spokane Children's
Nice.
Theater gave us and
Nice.
space, and my friend Gavin gave us his photography studio for rehearsals too. And
Perfect.
Oh, that's
it's been
great.
so great that people just have let's do this.
But
with
that
you
doesn't
guys.
just happen by accident either. That's a huge indicator, I think, of all the work that Troy's been doing in the community for so long. you
Yeah,
know. I
exactly.
mean, I've been gone for most of the last 20 years. I just kind of popped in and out of here, but Troy has been here.
Yeah,
Right.
And
yeah.
he's been doing the work, and he's
Yeah.
been around. And I think that's all coming back around.
Yeah.
People are saying, we love that you're doing this.
Yeah.
We want to help.
We wanna
And
support.
I think it's been lovely to see that happening.
So
Yeah.
tell us about where you can get tickets and when does it open?
Every Brilliant Thing opens February 27th, runs through March 15th. It's 6 performances only at Hamilton Studio. Tickets are available at www.theaterontheverge.com. That's theater with an ER on theverge.com.
Greetings, listeners of the Alley and Callie Artcast podcasts. This is Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. Keeping art alive and culture relevant is the heart and soul of our community of creatives. And as a local coffee roaster who loves a good origin story of a painter or a farmer or a musician, we proudly support the Alley and Callie's Artcast podcast's expansion and exploration through positive conversation. So grab a cup of coffee, preferably one from Tubbs Coffee Roasters, and tune in, humans. Your ears will thank you.
All right, well,
Okay.
we're back,
Technically, we
and
combined
we have Troy here, and we also have Doug Dawson, who
The
is the
star
star
of
of
the
Every
show.
Brilliant Thing. Thanks for being here,
Oh,
Doug.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I got to admit, I had to Google. I wanted to know your bio, and so I went online, and I got to watch the trailer from your episode on Grimm, which used to be one of my favorite shows.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And
Stalking
all the trailers that were from the Z Nation, which I didn't ever watch, but I really enjoyed watching you on that.
You
Jenny
watch Z
watched.
Nation?
She
Yeah.
did. I tried out and
Yeah.
I didn't get in it. I wasn't good.
So
zombie,
that was fun.
apparently.
So tell us about yourself.
Gosh. My name is Inigo Montoya. No, I told you I'd get that
Be
in there.
prepared
Just
to
do
die.
it. My father. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
No, I'm a Spokane native, graduate of Eastern Washington University's theater program. Along with acting, I work as a drug and alcohol counselor. I'm actually getting, in my 50s, I'm getting my master's to become a mental health therapist as well.
Oh, wow.
Good for you.
Oh, good
Yeah,
for you.
That's awesome.
and I've the great fortune of being able to still act in community theater and professionally sometimes in film and TV. So it's
Yeah.
really it's a great hobby / sometimes you get paid.
Yeah.
Right. And I hear that you and Callie worked together at
Yeah,
one
we
point.
did.
We did.
Oh, my
we did
God.
a lovely show called Trailer Park.
The Great American Trailer Park Christmas Musical.
Thank you. I kind of blocked it out of my mind.
I don't blame you.
Not that I loved working with the people.
The
Some-
cast and the director,
Yeah.
the theater, it was all worth it. Terrible
it's just,
script.
yeah, not a great script, but Doug was funny.
Really? With that name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You were hysterical too.
Was I funny? I
was
don't
fun.
even remember. I don't even remember my character. I remember zero from it, except for the one song. Pardon the language. Fuck it, it's Christmas.
Yeah, this was the Act 1 finale.
Yeah.
He's
We
charming.
had people walk out. Surprisingly, not surprisingly.
These old people are like, this is garbage.
This
I'm like,
is-
I know, I don't blame
sorry.
you. We're in the
I'm
middle
like-
singing.
We're like, fuck it, it's Christmas. It was one of those.
Come on,
where, like,
Ethel. This
I'm
is
like,
unreal.
sorry, I didn't write it. I'm just in it. What do you do? But
love
Doug
that.
was very funny. You did
You
a
were-
whole you were possessed by.
Oh, that's right.
You-
The axe possessed me or
Yeah,
whatever. And then
Yeah.
that was so exhausting.
Yeah, you were. It was like 5 minutes of Doug going crazy on stage. It was my favorite part of the whole show. So
The only time I've ever on stage had to should I go or should I be like
it was.
which one gets you less tired?
I know. It was so funny. I mean, literally, it was probably more fun for us than no. It was fun for the audience, but it was definitely fun
I
for
forgot
us
about
too.
that scene.
Yeah, that was funny. But so tell us about how you feel about being in this show.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
thrilled. I'm thrilled. This script is gorgeous. Troy had called in. He had told me about it. He said, "Oh, by the time I was on page 3, blah 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 blah." And so I'm reading, and I get to page 3, and I text Troy, and I'm like, "I'm on page 3. I'm a mess." It's just beautiful. And one-person shows are really kind of unique in that respect too. It has to be great writing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get through to the Trailer Park Musical, which is terrible writing,
Yeah.
if you got fun people to do it with.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're doing a one-man show, it had better be good writing, and
Yeah.
this is exceptional writing. So
Excellent.
it's beautiful. Yeah,
Wow.
and hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is right up your alley because
Yeah.
you are a very funny person, very funny actor, but I'm looking forward to see the other side of Doug Dawson.
Well, I tell you, there's times on stage where I'm wiping the tears off of my eyes, and I don't have to work hard for it.
No.
It's just that
it's just real.
we're all looking at each other during those scenes in rehearsal, and we're just like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when it's well written, it's
Yeah.
man, you don't have to act. It's just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
That's good. Exciting.
So I'm very honored and flattered that Troy and Chris are trusting me with this, with their first production and with a show like of this, and I think it's going to be. When we've said this several times, Troy, it's not anything I think that's been done in Spokane. Nothing like this.
Yeah.
It's so unique, and it's so different, and it's almost kind of not like a play. It's just a guy telling a story for an hour and 20 minutes or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's really fun.
Wow. What's it like doing a one-man show? I mean, you
Terrifying.
Don't, yeah, I would think so because you don't have anybody to play off of. It's just
It's-
you.
I did one other one-person show before, David Sedaris' piece called the Santaland Diaries, and fortunately you get to a point where, in that show and this show, there's a flow. The scenes flow from one to the other. You don't learn the whole show, you learn your sections. But there is this thing where you have that panic, and this happens in shows that aren't one-person shows, where you realize, oh crap, I missed something, or that's not right. And when you're in another scene with someone, you can kind of look at them, and they might have that oh shit look on their face, but then somebody fixes it. But
Yeah.
you can't look at anybody else on stage in a
Just like,
one-person
right?
show. And I'm just ready to see the one time I skipped something to just see Troy at the back of the theater and going, oh my God!
Throws his hands up. Ah!
Makes a scene.
No.
Throws
No, I
his
think it'll
drink
be-
in your face,
It's the sort of thing we have to, like with any show, you have to think, is this worth doubling back to get, or can we move on?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a one-man show, which is I haven't really done.
He's doing
I've
a fabulous
but
job
it's,
directing,
It's,
by
it's but it's a different. I mean, it's a unique experience with just working with one actor, and because it's like you have this time to.
Really.
I mean, but you really
work
still
through
you
it.
create every moment just like you do with
Yeah,
anything. Like every
sure.
moment is like
They have beats
special
and
become created, and And it's so lovely to work with somebody with Doug's talent because
Yeah.
we can do it one time and then it's like, okay, yeah, it's sort of like that.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
Kind of like that.
And do
That's-
that,
yeah,
and do that
but-
again.
I will say there's so many things where when I read it and started working, because I started trying to get the lines before we ever started rehearsing, of course. And there were times I'm like, oh, this is this. And we get to rehearsal and Troy goes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God.
Let's try
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And that's happened so many times,
Yeah.
you know, with Troy's a brilliant director and he just
Yeah.
has these artistic insights that I don't think there's too many people in Spokane who can do that, where you're
Right.
like, what about this? And you just
Yeah.
go, oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
How are the lines coming? Good?
Pretty good. Last night, I think I called line 5 times.
Good.
So,
A lot of
yeah.
it's lists too, you know. I mean, like lists, so there's not any through line. I just like.
See,
Yeah.
I would, I cheat. I would find some reason that she needs a book.
And yeah,
Cheater.
and we're
I'm a
using
cheater.
like a next to nothing set, so there'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
no way to put
There's
that.
no
There's
way to
some
cheat.
props, but no, it's
Yeah.
interestingly enough, the lists aren't bad. He says little things in between as he's saying off the list. Those are the lines that are killing me. It's like I kept going late into the night. I'm like, no, that's not the right one. What is it? And then I'm stuck, and I know what the next number and item is, but I said the wrong thing in between, and then I'm just like, my mind goes.
Yeah.
So
Flatline. Whoop.
yeah, interestingly enough, it's not the lists themselves; it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
the lines in between.
But what a feat! I mean, a one man show. That's incredible. I
Kind
mean,
of.
just to have that. Well,
It's
the
that
opportunity.
coming out of when you're a narrator, like which is
Yeah.
consistent, like the storyteller, narrator, whatever. You know, and then you're a 7-year-old in some ways, but you don't want to be, you know, I mean, you hint at all of these different ages in life and
Right.
falling in love and his relationship with his father, and it's like you get to know all of these characters. And
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain. It's
I know.
it is. It's
I
tough.
know.
It's
And
tough
we don't
to-
want to know everything.
Yes,
Right.
yes, for
Because we
sure.
want people
yes.
to be
Yes, we want
surprised.
people to
and,
come.
and
You don't want to do
come.
too many spoilers.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it's.
But I'm
it's,
interested about page 3. Dang it.
I know. Me
It's
too.
just come-
I'm
it
like,
comes to
what
thing.
the heck?
Yeah.
I'll be a
Oh,
ball
you
baby.
will.
I will.
You will.
I
Yes, she
cry.
will.
I cry. I cry at
She
every
cries
episode.
at everything.
Yeah,
So
you're-
it's
yeah.
it's
Page 3 will get
it's
you.
my way. Well, that's exciting.
For all your screen printing needs, trust the local you can count on. Pyramid Printing has been a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.
Specializing in screen printing, embroidery, signs, banners, and stickers. For all jobs, big and small, just give Eric a call.
Email us at info@pyramidprintingcda.com or give us a call at 208-664-0254.
PyramidPrintingCDA.com.
Well, let's talk a little about this space that you have chosen. You're going to be performing in the Hamilton Studios. How many people will you be able to accommodate in the space
we
per
have
night?
we have space for 90 people.
90.
per
Oh, that's
performance.
great.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it's all cabaret seating. We're kind of encouraging people. The show has beautiful music in it. Like the music is really kind of a theme to this show.
Nice.
So we're gonna have some great music beforehand. You can get beer and wine and get a charcuterie. So come a half hour early and hang out. We have tickets, I think, for most nights except for opening night sold. So yeah,
Opening
it's,
night is sold out?
Yeah, opening night sold, and
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. So
That's great.
It is good.
I didn't get
Yeah.
a ticket. Just kidding.
Oh no.
I'll be there anyway.
You'll be there. You'll be there on stage. Yeah, so exciting. So, how do you feel about being that close to the audience? I don't think it intimidates you at all, does it?
No, I actually I kind of like that. I'm telling a story. There is no fourth wall.
Right.
So I'm literally talking to the audience the whole time, and I do walk
Wander.
into the audience.
Yeah.
You know, I wander
Oh.
around sometimes. I go off the stage and I'll, and
Nice.
back up on the stage. So there is
Nice.
not just breaking it with looking at and talking to
actually
them, but actually
are
I'll walk out and
involved,
then
yeah.
walk back up. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
It's interesting because it's far more uncomfortable probably for the
them.
audience,
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
because at first
Sure.
they're kind of like, oh God, they're coming.
Oh, God,
like,
is he gonna?
like
what's he
in
gonna
a
do?
show when they start coming down the aisle, you're like, oh
Yes.
God, what are they
Oh,
going to do?
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Until you finally, if it's a musical, you're like, okay, yay, yeah.
Except for that, I mean,
So
people
true.
that know me know that my biggest thing that I hate more than anything in the world is people coming out in the audience in any of my shows. I hate
You're
it
like,
because people are like, ooh,
no.
this is edgy. They're going to come out in the audience.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, I don't do it. It's
There's
dumb.
a
I mean, I think Grease. You could do it in Grease. You
Yeah.
could do it in Nonsense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, stop it.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, but this show,
You kinda have to.
requires it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's built that
You're
way.
really
Yeah.
talking
And
intimately.
being a little nervous and being a little uncomfortable is
good.
kind of part of that journey. That
It
you're
makes
gonna
it work.
happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if it has a meaning and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got a place, then
Yeah.
it'll have more.
And it's a
Right.
conversation.
It's the word I want.
Yeah.
It's never going to be like, oh, hey, look, I'm going to walk out here now.
No,
it's
no.
always kind of like, oh, that's just where he's going. Of
course.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very organic,
Yeah.
and it's so I don't think people are going to be like, that was weird. It's kind of like if you're talking to somebody and they get up and they go to their fridge and grab another glass of wine and sit back down. It's
Right.
more like that.
The
Yeah.
house lights are on the entire time.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
I mean,
really?
yeah, that
Yeah.
the audience, you're lit so that you can have full
Right.
Nice.
contact. So he
Nice.
can see you and as well as you see him.
Good.
So-
Oh, I'm
Oh,
so excited.
I know. I am
This
too.
sounds
We're gonna have
great.
to come.
And
I
that's
know.
again why the space
It's
just
perfect.
cannot be any more perfect.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
No,
It's a
really
good
it is.
space,
It's
right.
perfect. Let's
Let's
remind
go-
everybody
Yes.
one more time. Get your tickets at
Every brilliant thing. Get your tickets at.
Okay.
So
we're-
it's www.theaterontheverge.com. Theater, R-E, on the verge.
E-R.
E-R.
ER.
God, Chris, come do this.
Oh, we got it. We got it. We'll
Theater
put it in
ER.
the-
Yeah. And
Comments.
tickets are $37.50 each.
Yes.
Perfect.
Because that includes all the fees and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
that goes
yeah.
along with that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it runs from February 27th, but don't try to get your ticket for February 27th because it's sold out.
Sold out.
But it goes through March 15th.
Yes.
And so are you doing what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What are you doing?
It's different. Each week is different.
Two nights each
Yeah.
week.
Because
Okay.
of
Oh,
availability
okay.
of the space.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Well, just
okay.
look it up, people.
Yes, all the dates are
Right.
on our website.
Perfect.
Okay,
So check it out because this is going to be something. I think it's going to be more of a theatrical experience.
It sounds like it.
Something that people haven't seen here in
Yeah,
Spokane
I can't wait to
or
come
the
and
area.
see Callie cry.
Oh my gosh.
Because I
'Cause
never
you know I
get to
will.
see that.
Because I cry all the time. I haven't cried this whole episode. Not yet.
Not
So-
yet. I know, right? There's still
No,
time.
I know. It's true. So, what are your hopes and dreams of your theater, Troy?
Well, I
And
mean, right
Chris.
now it's just this. Right now we're just like I said before. We're focusing on what we're doing right now.
Perfect.
We
In
have
the
other
now.
things. Yeah, we have other things kind of planned and ready to go in our arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
But we're staying focused right here.
Good.
Yeah. See, and this see how this all works out. Already going fairly well. So
Good.
we'll know more as this transpires and
Yay.
what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
we're excited about Theater on the Verge.
Thank you. I am
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm. We
It's
need
been
a new
great.
creative space, a new theater that does a little more provocative and maybe a little more interesting. a little
Yeah,
just
some-
out of the box.
Yeah. I mean,
something
I think right
different.
now the arts being in jeopardy a little bit as they are. I think that any time that we get together to create and tell stories, I mean, that historically is something that has saved and many cultures and people. You know, the arts is something that's uniting,
Yes,
and
it is.
creating is something that is who we are. So
Right.
it's
So
important
important.
to sustain that, and they've done it through the worst of times and through the best of times. So
And performances that make people think, maybe a little outside of what
Conversations
their
that have-
usual thought process is.
and
I
especially
think
about
is
depression
really,
and suicide and those things. I mean, who hasn't gone through something mental? I think mental health thing are at an all-time high in so many ways. Myself, I have an anxiety disorder. People have those so many things right now, and
Right.
Yeah.
and I think having the conversation because of shows like this is I think so important. Special.
We've a lot of different rehearsals. We get done and we're talking about what we did in rehearsal, and then we're talking about how this makes us feel. I mean, we've had it quite a few times where we're just processing. And
Oh,
I know
that's
that's
cool.
going to happen with people seeing this show, and especially at the talkback nights. That'll be very interesting to see.
Oh, good. You have those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple
That's
of
good.
times with
There's
talkbacks.
there's them definite moments that I've had a therapy appointment and we're talking at the show and I'm like, we just talked about that today at therapy. I mean, life resembles art
Yeah.
in so many ways. But Chris worked on a suicide line for a very long
Oh,
time.
right.
He has
Oh,
a very
wow.
personal relationship with that. Was also why one of the show spoke to him. But having those conversations and still minding that it's about the opportunity to still find hope and joy in what's going on in this person's life.
Right.
And I mean, we got to find the hope and the joy in everything we do. We can't let that be taken away from us. And this is what got them through the life that they chose and the people they
Right.
was with.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
good.
I'm excited about the show coming up.
Absolutely.
We'll have to get our tickets and
Absolutely. We got to get them.
get down here.
I know. So will there be a suicide awareness? I mean, in the program, or like if people want to reach out, is there feel like they're, you know how sometimes a hotline, maybe we should
normally
put
at the end of
that.
some shows it'll be like, if you yourself is struggling, you should
Right.
do the,
Yeah.
I think it's
We'll probably include that.
Maybe that
In
should
the program,
be
yeah.
in there.
That might
or
be- yeah,
maybe,
that might be
or
really
we
good.
might put that in ours.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So just, because it's, here it goes.
Oh boy.
Plus,
Okay,
if we got
go.
signage and
Yeah, things are tough for a lot of people right now. So just know that you're not alone, and
Right.
that
Right.
things like this, when we're in together and have these
Yeah.
shared moments
Look
that are
for the little things.
the little things, the
Look for the
simple
helpers.
things.
Look for the helpers and look for the little things.
absolutely,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, this is
Yeah.
great, so exciting.
Right. Well,
We
thank
love it.
you so much.
Thank you guys very
Yes,
much for
thank
making
you.
the trek out
This
here to
is-
talk to us.
Absolutely.
Great to see you again.
see
Great
you.
to
It's
see
great
you
to see
again.
you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you. I know.
Chris
So much fun.
and Dawn. It's just warms my heart.
Yay.
Yay! Warms my heart. Well,
So, I'm Allie.
and I'm Callie, and whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is brought to you by Tubbs Coffee Roasters, ethically sourced, locally roasted coffee, and Pyramid Printing and Embroidery, serving customers near and far for over 2 decades.